You've been trapped inside an egg for 8 months, not growing, not moving, just frozen in sand 8 centimeters underground while a Mexican summer bakes the dirt above you. Your mother dug this hole back in September, dropped 5 eggs, and bounced. Never looked back. 263 days. That's how long you take to develop, one of the longest for any small turtle alive. Then the rain comes. Water soaks through. Your egg cracks. You claw upward through wet sand with legs thinner than matchsticks. 40 minutes to dig yourself out. You break the surface. You're 19 millimeters long, smaller than a coin. Your shell is soft, bright orange underneath. 4 siblings are pushing through the dirt around you. Then the ants arrive. Tropical fire ants. Hundreds of them pouring across the nest in a copper wave. They reach your brother first. He's still half buried, legs kicking. They swarm into the gaps between his shell and his skin, biting the soft tissue underneath. He stops moving in 30 seconds. They start dragging him underground in pieces. You scramble. Your legs weren't built for running. Your species walks along pond bottoms, not sprints across land. But panic doesn't care about biology. You tumble over wet leaves, slide down a slope, and hit water 20 meters away. Behind you, 2 more siblings disappear under the swarm. 3 out of 5, gone before they ever saw sunlight. You sink to the muddy bottom and walk, not swim, walk, along the substrate until the ants are far behind. Other turtles glide through water. You just crawled into a puddle the size of a parking lot that the entire world is trying to delete. And what finally gets you won't have claws or teeth at all. Your lagoon is a shallow, warm, duckweed-choked swamp tucked inside Puerto Vallarta, one of Mexico's biggest tourist cities. Hotels on one side, shopping mall on the other. Your species exists nowhere else on the planet, just here. A few scattered puddles totaling 32 soccer fields. That's the entire kingdom of the world's smallest turtle. And your body has a design flaw that makes everything worse. Most mud turtles can seal their shells completely shut when attacked. 2 hinges on the belly plate snap closed like a vault. Nothing gets in. Your species? The front hinge doesn't close all the way. There's a gap. Your one defense mechanism has a permanent hole in it. You're 3 weeks old when you learn what that means. A giant water bug, 6 centimeters of armored insect with front legs like folding knives, grabs your sibling from below. It jams its needle mouth through the gap in his shell and injects digestive enzymes. Those enzymes liquefy his insides while he's still alive. The bug drinks him like a protein shake through a straw. You freeze. Press flat against the mud. The bug finishes and drifts away carrying an empty shell. That's day 21, already down to 1 sibling. Next morning, a green kingfisher hits the water like a dart. Beak spears straight through the surface and pins your last sibling to the mud. The bird flies off with a turtle smaller than its own eye. You're it. 1 survivor from 5 eggs that took 8 months to cook. 2 days later, you're nosing through silt, hunting a freshwater shrimp when a shadow falls across the water. A bare-throated tiger heron, neck like a javelin, beak built for stabbing, stands ankle-deep in your lagoon, yellow eyes scanning the bottom. The beak stabs down, misses you by 2 centimeters. Water explodes. You scramble sideways, kicking up mud. The silt cloud buys you 1 second. You wedge yourself under a submerged root just as the beak punches through the water again, grazing your shell hard enough to leave a scratch. The heron wades away. You stay under that root for an hour, and you haven't even met the crocodiles yet. 200 American crocodiles live in the rivers and creeks around Puerto Vallarta. 3-meter ambush predators sharing your exact waterways. For them, you're not even a snack. You're a breath mint. Skip forward 5 months. Dry season hits, and your lagoon starts dying. Every day the waterline pulls back. The shrimp vanish, the fish leave. What's left turns into warm brown soup that smells like rot. But before you can deal with the drought, the invaders show up. Red-eared sliders, pet store turtles that people dumped here, have taken over. 1,200 of them crammed into 1 lagoon. They're bigger, faster, meaner. They steal basking spots, steal food, outnumber your species 8 to 1, and swimming alongside them, a giant musk turtle, an invasive predator the size of your head that actively hunts and eats other turtles. You've now got a predator living inside your home that specifically targets things shaped like you. Your instincts finally kick in. You crawl out of the shrinking water, push into the forest edge, and dig yourself 5 centimeters into sandy soil. Your body shuts down. Heart rate drops. Metabolism nearly stops. You survive on water stored in your bladder. This is called estivation, hot weather hibernation. You bury yourself alive and wait for rain. Can't move, can't see, can't run. In April, the brush catches fire. Wildfire rips across the dried vegetation. 16 of your species die at this exact site. Roasted underground while they sleep. Can't wake up fast enough to dig out. Can't escape. Heat radiates down through the soil, centimeter by centimeter. Your shell sits at 8 centimeters. The fire burns everything down to 6. 2 centimeters saved your life. That's it. When the rains finally break and you claw back out, 6 hectares of habitat are gone. A third of the dry season shelter your species needs, torched to nothing, and this fire is coming back next year. Skip forward a year. You need to reach a lagoon on the other side of a road. 3 lanes of traffic, cars, trucks, buses full of tourists heading to the beach. You step onto asphalt that's hot enough to burn your feet. Your maximum speed? A slow walk. Takes you 4 minutes to cross. Earlier this year, scientists found more than a dozen dead turtles along a 300-meter stretch of road right next to an occupied swamp. A dozen, from a species of a few hundred. Some were crushed flat. Some were flipped on their backs, baked by the sun before anyone noticed. You make it across. Barely. A taxi passes so close the draft spins you sideways. Skip forward another year. You're an adult now, 78 millimeters, the size of a deck of cards. That's full grown. The world's smallest living turtle, maxed out at less than the width of a palm. Something wild has happened to your face. A bright yellow patch has spread across your entire nose. Vivid, solid, unmissable. No other mud turtle on Earth has this marking. Not 1 out of 25 species in your genus. It's your thing, your species' selfie filter. That yellow nose is about to ruin everything. But first, breeding, rainy season. You smell a female through the water and follow the trail. You block her path. She bites your yellow nose. Hard. That's the ritual. She confirms you're the right species by chomping that bright marking. You wave your claws across her face. She turns. You mount. 40 seconds. Done. She digs a nest. 3 eggs. Walks away. Those eggs need 9 months underground before hatching. 9 months where raccoons can dig them up. Fire ants can swarm them. Wildfires can cook them. Or someone can pour a concrete foundation on top of them. Because here's the mid-season plot twist nobody sees coming. While you've been dodging herons and surviving wildfires, your species has gone viral. Not on nature documentaries. On the black market, that yellow nose? Collectors in China will pay $10,000 for one of you. 10 grand for a turtle the size of a playing card. In 2024, Chinese wildlife traders flew to Puerto Vallarta, hired locals, offered $1,000 per turtle. Your lagoons, already shrinking, already choked with invasive species, are suddenly crawling with people flipping rocks and dragging nets. Turtles start vanishing. Not killed by herons. Not eaten by crocs. Just gone. Over 200 individuals, a third of your entire species, smuggled to the other side of the planet in months. Sold on social media like sneakers. Then the heist, December 2024. Thieves dress up as government environmental inspectors, official uniforms, fake badges. They walk into the university conservation lab, the one place trying to save your species, and run a 2-hour inspection. They pressure the biologist, convince her the turtles need relocation for safety. They walk out with 40 turtles. 40. From a species of 300. 3 weeks later, those turtles appear for sale on Facebook. In Hong Kong, January, they come back, cut the fence, grab 15 more in 3 minutes. Security cameras catch everything. Nobody stops them. Your species went from 1,000 individuals when it was discovered in 2018 to 300 in 2025. 7 years, 70% gone. More of you might now exist in Chinese collectors' tanks than in Mexican wild. And you're still here. Still walking the bottom of a lagoon that gets smaller every dry season, still alive. But the math is getting impossible. Skip forward to your last November. You're 5 years old. The lagoon shrinks to a stagnant pool barely 10 meters across. Time to estivate again. You crawl out, find sandy soil, dig down, body shuts off, wait for rain. Above you, the landowner files construction permits. Your habitat sits on land worth $492,000 per hectare. The developer doesn't know you're here. Doesn't know your species exists, doesn't care that 32 soccer fields is all that stands between the world's smallest turtle and zero. Earth movers arrive in March. You're underground, 5 centimeters deep, heart barely beating, body smaller than a deck of cards, running on bladder water and a metabolism so slow it barely registers. Turtles as a group have survived for over 200 million years. Your genus goes back 17 million. Your ancestors outlasted ice ages, volcanic eruptions, and the asteroid that ended the dinosaurs. The blade drops 8 inches into the soil on a Tuesday morning. You don't feel the second pass. You survived fire ants at birth, a water bug that liquefied your sibling through a gap in his shell, a heron's beak 2 centimeters from your skull, a wildfire that killed 16 of your neighbors while you slept, traffic that flattens a dozen of your kind on a single stretch of road, invasive turtles that outnumber you 8 to 1, poachers who turned your face into a $10,000 price tag and sold a third of your species on Facebook Marketplace, and you die underground, asleep, in the dark, beneath the foundation of a resort that tourists will check into next winter without knowing you existed. They'll swim in the pool, post sunset photos, Order margaritas on a terrace built on top of 17 million years of evolution. But believe it or not, there's an animal with an even worse life than this. Watch that story next.